guys, Larissa with Becozi.com is here. Becozi.com is an American website where we're selling huge number of chunky yarns. Becozi is located in Holland, Michigan. So if you're from Holland or local close to Holland, you're welcome to stop by at our office and buy our yarn. We have a huge amount of chunky yarns available. So today I will be using our beautiful Plush Chenille yarn in mustard and in yellow. We have 8 colors of this beautiful yarn available. We have it available in half-pound skeins like that, small skeins. And some of the skeins we have in 1 pound. So it's easier to knit because you don't need to connect as many skeins when it's small. But you can buy smalls too. And what we are making today, we're making this gorgeous fall blanket. Look at this beauty. We will be using 3 big skeins of mustard and 3 small skeins of yellow. Remember, 3 and 3, only mustard big skeins and yellow small. So we will be knitting and purling, and then we will place this beautiful yellow border on around the whole blanket. So the blanket size is about 35 inches wide, and it's 50 inches long. It's not a big blanket, it's like small blanket. We call it lap throw, because you're just throwing it on your lap when you're sitting and watching TV. So head out to Becozi.com. This yarn is not available in any craft stores. Get this yarn and let's make this beautiful blanket. Okay guys, so we will be using this beautiful mustard color and this yellow color to make this beautiful fall color Plush Chenille blanket. So as you can see, they're different. This is a half pound or 8 ounces skein, and this guy is 1 pound. So it's like 2 skeins like that over here. We have different colors, and some colors have both available, smaller and bigger. And bigger are better because you don't need to connect as many skeins when you're using the big one. So we will start with our mustard color. The mustard color Plush Chenille. So let's put it here. And so here we are. Place the yarn in front of you like that, and this will be the tail, and this will be working yarn. Now we are placing working yarn on the top of the tail like that, making a loop. Insert your hand inside the loop, grab working yarn and pull it out. So you're holding these two together, working yarn and a tail, and pulling the first stitch. So that's your first stitch, and you see that it's pretty big, but you need to make it a little bit smaller. So we will pull the working yarn down and keep it about inch and a half to make a cast on. So when casting on, we will be inserting our hand inside, grabbing working yarn through and pulling it through the stitch like that. So this is our second stitch, and this will be a size 30 by 50. We will be casting on 20 stitches, guys. Okay, so here we are. We made the second stitch, the same size approximately. Now place your hand on the bottom of the stitch. Now you can see opening. Insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. So now we have 3 stitches, and we will keep doing the cast on chain this way. Try to make them all about the same size, and you will have a chain like this. And where the key for when you're making a chain for the bottom, you need to make the stitches a little bit bigger than the stitches when you are knitting the blanket. The reason for doing it, because this way your blanket will be of the even size. If you make stitches on the cast on too small over here, they need to be, as I said, pretty loose. If you make them small, your blanket will look like that, because it will be too tight here, and then blanket will go to the sides, and it will not look good. So let's count stitches. We need 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 6 more stitches. Okay, so this is 19 and 20. Okay, so now we have 20 stitches, guys. And what we will be doing, we will be placing the yarn, the cast on chain in front of us. See, it's kind of trying to twist, so make sure that you are placing it on the right side. Here we are. Place it on the right side. And now we actually will flip it on another side. Like that. And the reason we are doing it this way, because we will be using this middle part of the stitch for making our first row. See, the stitches have top and bottom part, top, bottom, and the middle. So we will be using the middle. That's the reason we flipped the yarn, because when we are making the first row and using this middle part of the stitch, this chain will be on the bottom. If you're doing it any different way, then you will not have that chain on the bottom, and blanket will not look as beautiful on the bottom. So here we are. This is our first stitch. We are inserting our hand from underneath. Insert your hand inside it, then grab working yarn and pull it through the stitch. This is your first stitch. Now place it like that. It will be easier for you to see that we are going this direction. Now we will be using this middle parts. Sometimes they're kind of hiding. So make sure that it's not the top, not the bottom, but the middle part. So you're lifting this middle part of the stitch, inserting your fingers, grabbing working yarn, and pulling it out. So this is your second stitch. Here's the next one. Lift it, grab working yarn, pull it out. Here we are. And now we will be simply pulling out our first row by lifting the middle part of the stitch on cast on chain, and then inserting our hand and grabbing working yarn, pulling out stitches. Make sure the stitches are approximately the same size. That will give you a beautiful blanket when you are done. So let's keep going. So as I said, we are starting with 20 stitches. The 20 stitches chain will give you a width of about 30 inches. It's not a big blanket, it's a small lap row to cover your legs when you're sitting on the couch watching TV. Okay, so here we are. This is our last stitch. Last of 20. So here we are. What are we doing now, guys? So now, it's trying to escape. Now we will be placing our yarn in the direction we will be knitting. So we were knitting from the right to the left. Now we're knitting from the left to the right. So place the yarn in front of you like that, the chain and the yarn here. So now insert your hand inside this last stitch, grab working yarn, and pull it out. So we just made the first stitch of the second row. Okay, I'm not counting this row because that's cast on. So insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. And we will keep doing it this way to the end of the row. A very simple knitting stitch. It's the simplest stitch to make in knitting and hand knitting. That's what we're doing. We're using our hands, so this is hand knitting. So you can see that how beautiful this mustard color plush Chenille looks. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning, Plush Chenille is available only at Becozi.com. It's not available in any craft stores. So if you want to buy it, you need to go to Becozi.com and purchase it on our website. And we are shipping everywhere around United States and actually worldwide. Okay, so here we are. We are done with our second row. Now yarn is placed to the direction we will be knitting, which will be from the right to the left. And now we will be starting this row, we will be skipping the first stitch. Why I'm doing it? See this first cast on. See this beautiful chain. We will have the same chain on the side, on both sides, if we skip the first row. It also gives us some saving on the yarn. You will use a little bit less yarn when you skip it. So it's for some people it's kind of confusing. So look carefully. You have the row to start. This stitch is just sitting here. You're inserting your hand inside the second one, grabbing working yarn and pulling it out. And now we will do the same, a simple knitting stitch all the way to the end of the row. You can keep the yarn on the back or up front or on the top, like I'm doing, whichever works best. So when we are done with 4 rows, that's when we add our yellow color, guys. Okay, so here we are. We have 3 rows now. We're not counting cast on, we're counting rows by chains. See this little chain, 1, 2, 3. So we are making next row, which will be row number 4. So again, skipping the first stitch, so just sitting here, you don't need to do anything. Just make sure to knit it when the last, when you were going from that direction here. And then you're just inserting your hand inside the second one and pulling it out. So when we are done, we will incorporate our yellow color and it will look really beautiful with this mustard. Very bright, very full looking color. It's also very warm and it's pretty heavy, guys, because this yarn is different than our chunky Chenille. This yarn is heavier and this yarn is warmer too because it's heavier. So here we are. We're done. Make sure to knit the last stitch. Here we are. We now have 4 rows and we are taking our yellow. We're finding the end. And okay, guys, so we are ready to add our yellow color. Okay, so just place it here where your mustard would be. Mustard is sitting here. And we will knit the first stitch by placing our hand inside the stitch, grabbing working yarn, pulling it out. We will not be skipping the first stitch because we are incorporating new color. Now, second stitch, the same simple knitting stitch. Okay, very simple knitting stitch like this. And we will move to make the different stitch in the next row. Why we're not purling this row? Because if you purl the stitch of a different color, you will have pieces of mustard color on the top of the yellow, sort of like this. See, it will be in the middle. And we're trying to avoid it, so what we're doing, we're just simply knitting one row. And then when it's time to go next row with the yellow, we are purling. We're taking the stitch and working yarn on the top, and then you're pushing yarn through that stitch. And then the same with the next one. Take the stitch and push yarn through. See, this is the purl stitch. It's a different, most popular stitch in hand knitting. And this will give us this beautiful, kind of like a border made with this bright and nice yellow color. Very soft, very beautiful. This yarn is perfect for making baby blankets. They are so soft and velvety, very beautiful looking blankets. So keep doing it the same way until you are done with this row. Here we are. And 2 more stitches. What we are doing next, guys, see, we did 4 rows of mustard, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we did 2 rows of yellow. First was what we were knitting, and second one we were purling. What we're doing now, we are simply switching from yellow to mustard. Okay, yellow is sitting here. You can put it up front too. Take it out of the way, and we will now incorporate our mustard. So simply inserting your hand, grabbing plush in mustard, and knitting the first stitch, and then knit second, and keep knitting all stitches. And we will be knitting the same as the first one. We will be knitting 4 rows of mustard, simple knitting stitch, and then I will come back and I will do another row, 2 rows of yellow, and that will be our pattern. We will be just alternating 4 rows of mustard with 2 rows of purled yellow. So when I am done with 3 more rows, I will come back and I will show you what to do next. But before I leave, this is the first stitch. We will be skipping it, okay? So we will be skipping it in mustard color, the first stitch in every row. When we're knitting with yellow, we will not be skipping it because it's a purl stitch and it's a different color. Anyway, when I'm done with 4 rows, I will come back. Okay, guys, we are done with 4 rows of mustard, and now we are back to our yellow. And what I will be doing, I will kind of connect it in such a way on the side. I will twist it together like that. See? And then mustard will go up front, that it wouldn't be on your way, and then we will need 2 rows of yellow. So that's what you will need to do, because I don't like to cut yarn, especially plush yarn, so simply twisting it on the side will be the trick we will be using. Okay, so now again we are simply knitting a row of the yellow. Make sure that the stitches are open like that, because yarn, plush Chenille yarn has a tendency to twist. So make sure that it's not twisting, because it will become it will not look good. It will be completely different pattern if the stitch is twisted. Okay. It's another video. We have I have a video showing how to do a twisted stitch blanket. You can go to our YouTube channel, Becozi. You can find it. We have 100, almost 190 videos showing to how to hand knit. So if you're interested in hand knitting, make sure to subscribe to our channel. we are making new videos every week, and you can receive them in your email every week. Okay, so what we are doing now, guys, we knitted the first row of yellow, and second row, remember, same as here, we will be purling. So it stitches in your left hand and then push yarn through like that, see? And then you're pushing all stitches, and that will give you this beautiful combination of mustard and yellow. I don't know about you, I really like these colors. Mustard is very popular, yellow is popular too, especially during fall time. That's why I'm making this blanket to have it as an option for you to make this beautiful blanket. And here we are done with our yellow. So the same as we did here with yellow and mustard, we're doing the same here. We will twist these two together, and then the yarn, yellow yarn, will go up front because you will not be using it, and mustard will go over here because we will be using it. So simply insert in your hand, grabbing working yarn, pulling it out, and we will be making 4 rows of mustard now. Okay, so the same way you will be going through all yarn you have, and to make a beautiful blanket. And then when I am done with all the yarn, I will come back and I will show you how to finish this beautiful blanket. Okay, guys, so I am done with my skein, big skein of mustard like that, and I will show you how to connect this yarn. This yarn is not connected like any others, so it comes with the knot on the end, so you cannot really unravel it, but if you cut it, then it will be unraveling very easily, practically falling apart. Like some people are saying, it's not falling apart, it's just how this yarn is made. Okay, so what are you doing? You're taking off the yarn from the string inside over here, and then the other one has this already the string out, and then you are simply making a knot with these strings. See, and you connecting the yarn, these two ends, and then make another knot with the strings, and I usually make 3-4 knots. This way it's holding really nicely, it will not unravel. So here we are. Now we simply cut this little yarn or strings from inside, and here we are, we connected it. You do not even see where it's connected. See, it's very, very nicely connected. I'll show over here. So this is how this yarn is connected, and now I will keep knitting, and I will be back when I use all my yarn. Okay, guys, so we are done with our 3 skeins, big skeins of mustard, and part of the 3rd skein of yellow, the smaller one, this one. So we have enough mustard color to finish this blanket. So how we will do it? The same way as when we were knitting, we will twist the yarn on the side here to colors like that, and then it will be connected on the side. And now we will simply take 2 skeins of the mustard, and we will knit them like that. Now we're taking 2 more. One is hand is inside the last one. You're adding 1 more, and then you're pulling yarn through. And that's what we will be doing. Like that, we will be knitting 1 stitch at a time, and until we have all stitches knitted, and our beautiful cast off chain is done. See this beautiful chain? So the same as on the bottom, there was a cast on chain, then 4 rows of mustard. So that's what we had here, 4 rows of mustard, and now we are casting off. So when we are done casting off, we will make a border around the blanket using our leftover of Plush Chenille in yellow. I really like to put borders on the blankets, because especially when there are 2 different colors, because this way this side will be nicely and neatly done. So what we are doing here, we are cutting our yarn the same way as I was showing you. Try to get rid of some yarn on the string inside. It should be unraveling very easily like that. Now, what you're doing, you're taking these 2 strings, see these 2 strings, and you are making a few knots like that. 1, 2, I usually do 3, 4, and that will prevent yarn from unraveling. Here we are. Now you can cut these tails close to the yarn, and now this tail goes inside the last stitch, and you pulled it, and we just finished our blanket. Now this tail will go underneath this chain. You take 2 parts of the chain, and the yarn goes underneath from one side to another, and then here, and then you can just weave it in on the bottom of the blanket. Here we are. So we're done with our beautiful blanket, and we have this yarn hanging here, and that's what we will use for the chain around the blanket. So how we will do it? We will insert our hand inside the mustard, and we will pull yellow out like that. See, we have this yellow stitch out. Now, this chain will be on the back. We will be using this part of the chain, not the back, but the front. So you are inserting your hand inside. See, this hand is inside yellow. You're inserting inside mustard. You're pulling it through the mustard and then through the yellow. Now, we will do the same. You keep your hand inside the yellow, and then you're pulling yellow through the mustard and through the yellow. See what we're doing? We're making this beautiful chain around the blanket. So you're taking 1 stitch, 2nd stitch, and then pull it through. That will give you this beautiful chain on the side of the blanket. And the best part, that it will cover all those connections of the yarn that we had on the side. So I'm almost done on the top of the blanket. I will move on the side, and then you will see what I'm talking about, the yarn over here. So we have it done on the top of the blanket. Now we are moving on the side of the blanket, okay? So here we are. Your hand is still inside the last stitch, and then you need to go inside the stitch on the border over here on the corner to make beautiful connection. See? Now, here you're going inside the mustard, and then inside one of the yellows. You don't need to go inside every stitch, guys. You're going inside one mustard and one yellow. If you go in every stitch, it will be too much. It will not look good, and you will use ton of yarn. We don't need it. So we're going inside one mustard and then one yellow. And then you will keep going this way around the whole blanket. Look how beautiful and finished it looks. So when I am done, I will come back and I will show you how to finish the side of the blanket, where you will meet yellow and beginning yellow and the end yellow. So let me show you here on the corner. Again, this is a different corner. So we're here. We will hide or weave in this end underneath the chain, the same way as on the top. And then we will weave it in on the back, like that, somewhere here, that it won't be obvious. And now we keep doing the same way. One yellow, one mustard. Here we will actually need to do 2 yellow, guys, see? Because it's more mustard here. Now we will be again using this part of the stitch, not the bottom, because this way the yarn will be on the side beautifully. Okay, so I will keep going around, and then when I'm done I will come back. Okay guys, so we are here at the very end. We have the end of the blanket nicely surrounded by yellow. Now we have this one stitch left, so we're going inside the last stitch. We're creating this corner here, so we can cut the yarn and we will do the same. We will unravel the ends like that. So here you go, take off some yarn, keep these 2 strings. Now we are making a few knots to prevent us from unraveling. Okay, here you go, 1, 2, and 3. And now when we are done, you absolutely need to do it, otherwise this yarn will be unraveling. Okay, make sure you do it. Then cut these tails close. And now this last stitch, we will go inside the last stitch with our hand, and then in the previous stitch, and then we'll pull yarn out. And then this tail will go inside this next stitch, and then underneath you can weave it in anywhere you want. You can even sew it if you want to yarn to be completely not moving. So, but we will just simply weave it in like that. So here we are, guys. We are done with our gorgeous blanket. Look at this beauty. Isn't it beautiful? So nice. It's very thick, very heavy. That's Plush Chenille yarn, Becozi Plush Chenille. We have 8 colors available. You can all find them. You can find them all at becozi.com. Stay warm and Becozi. Hey guys, my hand knitting book is ready for you to purchase. It can be purchased at becozi.com and on Amazon, and also available as a Kindle. It's a perfect gift for yourself or your loved one. It's the most unique gift and book on the knitting market.